Good morning from my smartphone to yours. I'm Lovecasting live from the Serious Joy Garden Studios in Costa Mesa, California. And this is your Thursday, Namaste Today. Good morning and namaste, and welcome to Namaste Today. My name is Christopher Oteki. I'm your host and life coach and the Sensei to Serious Joy. My mission is to stand in my heart and help other people into theirs. This webisode is for Thursday, December 3rd, 2015, and today the Great Human Walk has progressed to step 11, Sagittarius. Hello, my friends. So good to see you. Thank you for joining me today. With the sun in Sagittarius, the human race, or walk as I like to say, is constructing a new belief structure. And right now, I think a lot of effort is going into changing what people believe. You see a lot of protesting going on in campuses right now, right? You can see that belief. We believe we should have, Black Lives Matter, frankly, is the way to put it. I think that sums it up very well. You know what I mean? So you can see that campaign of belief. You can see a lot of campaigns of belief that are all taking off. With today being step 11, today's a day where campaigns will fall in or out of integrity, or one's belief will fall in and out of integrity. So in the next 3 or 4 days, you may realize that something you believed falls apart and you no longer believe something, and you change your belief, or you may believe that you believe something that others don't and you stick to your beliefs in the next 3 or 4 days. But this is that point where people change their belief. Now, I argue back when Pluto was in Capricorn the last time and Saturn was at step 11 Sagittarius before the revolution, okay, this was the turning point where colonists might not have talked about it, but at this step they decided, if there is a war, I'm going to be on this side. And it was years still before the war started in the Pluto degree situation. I'll talk about that. But I think this is the degree. So I think now people are making that sort of decision about what they believe. Now, in the 11 steps of Serious Story, what I teach is how consciousness unfolds. The 11th step is the final step. Step 11 is Virgo. It is Chiron. It is IB. So it is the final step of what we be and what we become. It's also the step of integrity, which means we are in this step looking for if things are integrity. Now, what would be out of integrity, you might ask? Well, if any of the first 0 through 10 steps are not appropriate, then it is out of integrity. Or in the way I look at it is, if you are lying to yourself about who you are to yourself, or lying to the world about who you are, you're out of integrity. You're either out of integrity with yourself, or you're out of integrity with the world, or you're out of integrity with both, which is common as well. People lie to themselves and then they lie to the world. They're in major double jeopardy out of integrity, right? Now, in Sagittarius, we're talking about belief structure. We're talking about what we're being told, what we're being fed, what we're listening to, what we're sowing into our consciousness. And as a Sensei to Serious Joy, and as a person who loves planet Earth and wants it to continue, I have to say I see powerful forces trying to manipulate people's beliefs right now, and I have a serious alert for humankind to wake up and pay close attention. You have to listen to your heart and ask yourself, is this in integrity? Does this feel in integrity with who I am? And of course, you have to be in integrity with yourself. So that brings us to today's topic. Today's topic is integrity equals truth and transparency. That is a very simple formula for being in integrity if you don't know how to do it in the 11 steps, okay? And it really comes down to truth and transparency. I believe that we have to be transparent to ourselves. In other words, you have to be honest with yourself. You don't always have to tell people what you discover, okay? I think people have a right to privacy, but you should know what your issues are, and you should know, right? I think a lot of people do know. And I think if you can be transparent with yourself, then you can be true to yourself. And if you can be true to yourself, you can be in integrity with yourself. Now, sometimes we can't be in full integrity with the world because the world will kill us, like World War II. You know, people had to hide because these crazy Nazi beliefs were coming in that were oppressing a certain sect, okay, of the culture. In that case, the Jewish. So the point is here is we have to know our own truth and We want to present it to the world, but we certainly want to know when the world is not the same as us, okay? It might be dangerous to tell the world, but we want to know, at least inside, that we don't gel with what's going on inside. I always ask myself when I watch, the old footage of World War II, what were the German people thinking inside? Were they actually aware that the darkness was closing in, or were they telling themselves something different? Of course, I think it's based on different cases. I've seen documentaries where citizens were like, "We saw it, but we didn't know what to do," and it's like, "You would have been killed." It's like, okay, but you just wonder, because a lot of people have to sign off on a lot of that darkness taking over a situation, and that whole culture did sign off on it. Okay, and their sacrifices, where they come down to? They come down to us not doing it again. That's why we honor their sacrifices, by not repeating history, by not allowing ourselves to be blindsided by stupid propaganda. Okay, so here are today's 5 o'clock questions for you, my friend, in this day of integrity and belief. Have you ever been lied to before by a trusted retail brand? Have you ever been lied to by a trusted retail brand? Okay. Follow up. What did you do about it? People pursue it. People leave comments. People do stuff like that. Now I'll answer this question right here, probably for the whole world instead of just myself. And excuse the power drill in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it's like a test of my patience. So, have I been lied to? Well, I'll say, right out, flat out, let's just say that we know Volkswagen lied to the world and had a major conspiracy with lying about emissions, and to the point of constructing technology to lie about emissions. Now, I'm not trying to make Volkswagen feel bad, but I am trying to say, holy shit, you have a concerted effort there by a corporation to cheat the world. Just a little, right? I need a cat. Sorry. She'll be like, what are you talking about? Oh, nothing. Don't even worry about it. So the point is like, guys, how does one know? How does one know when they are being lied to by consumers, right? The second thing is, what did you do about it? What are we going to do about it as a world? I'm real curious what's going to happen. Who gets the money? Are the customers get the money? And where's the slap on the wrist? What do we do about this? We have runaway corporations to some degree. We know with the banks. We know with stock markets. We know with Wall Street. We know with a lot of places. We have runaway corporations everywhere. So we have to, this is something I want to put into before you look at your integrity of your beliefs and launch your next seed, these are just things Sensei thinks is worth talking about as a culture. And I'm very interested in your comments, by the way. But the last thing I want to do here before we go off into our overhead projector is, for one, I want to ask for a prayer of protection from you. Would you please pray for my protection? I would prefer and appreciate that prayers of protection come from people that love me, and I would appreciate a prayer of protection from my viewers. Why is this? Because I'm in a point now where I am speaking about the truth, and you know how that goes, okay? So I need everyone's prayer, and I appreciate it. I do want to say this. I've had a lot of comments and questions from me. People ask my opinion about world matters. One of the things that people have asked me a lot about are these shooters, okay? These shooters that are going on in our country. Why all these shooters now? What is it astrologically? And here's what I have to say. What it is astrologically has to do with conspiracy. I honestly have to say that in many cases, when I look into the eyes of these shooters, I get a strong Manchurian candidate story. I feel that many of these killers that are going on campuses and things are programmed by somebody. Honestly, I don't think they're always. You can see the madness. You can see them on drugs. Even even the media is saying how they're out of it. I think this has happened before. I think we need to look back to the assassination of Bobby Kennedy. That person is still in prison right now. I don't necessarily believe in government conspiracy. I really honestly think, like every politician says, follow the money. I think we're at a point where corporations have become extremely powerful, and the industrial war complex is extremely powerful. And I am feeling that sometimes they'll go to no extent for the American people to sign off on whatever they want next. So in this state where your beliefs are gelling about things, you have to ask yourself, what's really going on here? And we know, I'll just say, as a person who wants to help people lead, I don't want to lead people in the fear. I want to lead people in the light. I think that we as a culture have to begin with our justice departments and cleaning out our court systems, cleaning out our police departments, making our own civil servants, not to call it that word in a degrading way, make our civil servants on our side again. That's the first thing that has to happen, I think, as far as to looking at what's not right. But I certainly think that there seems to be some sort of well-planned financial conspiracy, call it a war on class, a war on poverty, not a war on terror, to terrorize people. I see, the networks are very coordinated in talking about the terror and talking about Trump and his statements. If I were a kindergarten teacher, I would say that that everything in the world is doing nothing but flashing the lights, trying to freak out the class. Okay? So what I say to you is, listen, pay attention, my friends. Know where your integrity lies and pay attention as to whether or not what you see around you is in integrity. The only way we can call someone else on their integrity is for us to be in our integrity. And my job is to help you get there. So without further ado, let's go into my guide and see what they have to say for you and turn on our overhead projector. So, they are calling on Venus, which is up here at step 28. Venus is at step 28 Libra, actually. So, what that means is that we are manifesting, step 28, manifesting our mirage. So, this basically, by us standing in integrity over here in step 11, integrity of our beliefs, we are in fact manifesting our final relationship to ourself. So our final relationship to ourself is all based on, are you in integrity at step 11 over here, right? The authority of Saturn is still at step 7, so God, is still keeping all of his messengers on the air, right? And this right here, this line of Saturn, this pours into Uranus at step 16. It's retrograde, which means that's the calling back of something that we're fixing. But it's in Aries, which is the new man. And it's funny because the last time Uranus was in Aries, we had everyone trying to cross the Atlantic and be the big man that can cross the Atlantic. Even Amelia Earhart was the big wombed man that could cross the Atlantic. Now it's all these rich men trying to get to space first, right? For Amazon, Bezos, and Richard Richard Branson, right? Thank you. I'm going to get this right. Sir Richard Branson, and of course, Elon Musk. Yeah, I'm forcing my mind to get that. So I think those men and their dreams to go to Mars and whatnot, that's really all this Uranus and Aries. So this relationship is being forged right now with Venus to yourself. And the moon, our emotions, is climbing up all the degrees of Virgo. So that means that we're just deciding reality is coming in and we're feeling reality. And what you need to know is if you don't like reality, that's just like a pie that didn't turn out or a dinner that didn't turn out, okay? So you just have to realize you have to order it again. Don't assume that if it came out wrong that it will come out wrong again. Don't assume that you don't have other options when you do. When reality doesn't work, just work through it in that moment and order something different in the next round. What's the round? Well, every time the moon goes around the clock, by the way, is the next round. So we'll take the temperature of our reality 30 days from now when the moon is back in Virgo. If you don't like the temperature, don't worry. Now, the moon is crossing over Jupiter today, which means that whatever you thought reality was is going to get bigger. It's like whatever you felt it was, well, open wide, you need to expect more. And really, step 21 is where it starts to get fun. Listen to your heart. I love this 4-color pen. It's a magic part of my wizardry. Step 21, the one is listen to your heart to create it right. And a lot of people are listening to their heart when they listen to fear, but you want to listen to the light part of your heart, right? Right. Okay. Well, I think that's a heavy dose. The sun is starting to go down over here. Anything else from my guides? No, just be honorable to yourself is what they say here. Okay? Okay. So, thank you so much for logging in. It's a pleasure to be of soul service. Listen to yourself, stay in your integrity, and love yourself, my friends. Be sure to protect yourself too. We'll talk about that, but protecting yourself is true. I'll be back in 24 hours with more. You can learn more about everything we do at soulgarden.tv. Until then, live in your heart. I love you, and live, love, be.